beautiful people, welcome to my channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. So in this video, I will be sharing some tips for crochet newbies. I have been crocheting for the past 2 months consistently, although I picked up crocheting a year ago. So here are some of the tips that I've picked up along the way. And for my channel, you can expect to see more of these kind of videos. So first things first, if you will be learning to crochet using YouTube tutorial videos, I will recommend that you create a crochet playlist. That way, if you come across videos that you like or you see a pattern that you like, you can just save it under that playlist and you can go back to it when you're ready to make that project. It will save you so much time trying to look for a pattern that you saw 2 weeks ago and can't remember the name of it. So, when you start to crochet, do not begin with large, huge patterns or projects. I know it's tempting to want to make those beautiful cardigans, beautiful uh, sweaters, but do not start with big projects because it can become overwhelming when you do that. I would start with just practicing your crochet technique, practice making many stitches, practice just making rows and rows of crochet, just having fun. It's just a practice pattern. Do not stress yourself about that. It is just your body getting accustomed to holding the hook and just becoming familiar with crocheting. So just get a ball of yarn or two and just practice making a chain, and then you add on rows and rows of stitches. And after you get comfortable with doing that, I would try making a scrunchie or a cute little scarf, and then you work your way from there. Now, you want to learn the basics. First thing is learning the single chain. Once you get the single chain down, then you move on to double chaining. And you would want to remember this when you start to make patterns, because you will need to know uh, the abbreviations, because in a lot of tutorial videos, they use abbreviations and you're like, what is SC? What is DC? So you will want to know that to get started. It's important that when you watch these tutorial videos to remember that you will have to rewatch them multiple times in order for you to understand what's going on and in order for you to know and learn the pattern of which you are working. Be sure to pay attention to what kind of yarn the crocheter is using and what kind of hook they're using. The hook size is important. You will find that out. And make sure that if they provide for you the information about the type of yarn and the right amount of yarn that you need to complete your project. A lot of YouTubers will give that information in their videos, in their details. They will tell you what brand of yarn they're using. They will tell you what size they're using. So you want to pay attention to that so you can have the right information and you can have the right materials to get your project started. You don't want to get your project started and then you need to go to the store or order more yarn. Also, another very important tip that will save you a lot of time, because I can't count how many times I have had to undo my stitches because I either made it too loose or too tight. So you want to pay attention to the tension. And the tension meaning how tightly you hold your yarn and how loosely you hold your yarn and how tightly you make your stitches or loose you make your stitches. Another tip that will save you a lot of frustration will be counting your stitches. You want to remember to count your stitches. I remember when I first started, I would just think that, oh, I can gauge it with my eyes, whether it's straight or not. But it ends up being completely crooked because I did not count my stitches. So this will save you a lot of time. And sometimes you may get distracted. You want to make sure that you make a note of how many stitches you've done. Make a note in your phone. Make a note on paper to remember, because you will say, oh, I'm going to remember this, but trust me, you probably will not. So it's best to make a note of how many stitches and where you left off. The next tip is making sure that you secure your ends. Secure your ends, because I many times just quickly secure it because I just want to get my project done because I'm so excited, I'm too anxious, and then I end up just not securing it properly. And once my project is completed and I'm ready to use it, I see that it's unraveling. So you don't want to do that. Don't be like me. Don't get anxious and too excited to where you don't properly weave in your edges or secure them the best way that you can. Now, I will tell you, do not crochet through hunger or pain. And yes, I mean, do not crochet when you're hungry. If you are crocheting and you get hungry, put it down. Put your hook down, put your yarn down. You will be okay. Get you some food, okay? And I mean that with all my heart. Get some food, because that will only cause you more frustration, and it will only cause messy work, and you will have to go back on unravel. You don't want to crochet through hunger, and you most certainly do not want to crochet through pain. I have definitely seen a lot of YouTubers say that they've sustained injuries, and I've had felt a little pain here and there because I kept crocheting even though my wrist was hurting or my neck or my back felt weird. And another thing is, please make sure that you are sitting in a proper body alignment. Make sure that you're sitting in a chair where you can put your feet flat on the ground and you can rest your elbows, because that will affect how your spine is aligned, and you do not want to cause yourself any pain whatsoever. Now, lastly, I don't want to make this video too long, so I'll go ahead and end with this. Don't be in a hurry. Be patient with yourself. Just take it one row at a time, and don't focus too much on the finished product. Just enjoy crocheting. Enjoy the process. Oh, and I forgot to mention, when you get your ball of yarn, do not pick up the yarn that is wrapped around the ball. You want to pick up your yarn from the center of the ball. That way, your yarn will pull. It will have less tension when it pulls. It will save you so much headache. When the yarn is pulled from the yarn that's wrapped around the ball, when you try to unravel it, it will be so bothersome. So it's best for you to pull from the middle. Get your starting yarn from the middle of the ball. Well, these are my tips for now. I will share more tips as I learn them. But for now, this is all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. See you soon.